Meta needs a shakeup. I mean, are we at the point already? Are we at the point already, chat, where the meta needs a shakeup? I mean, I feel like we got a ban list somewhat recently. How long has it been? A month? 1.5? 2 months? It didn't feel that long. Only one big event in EU. Maybe that's why it doesn't feel as long to me. Because it was it was exactly before YCS Dortmund, right? It was exactly before YCS Dortmund, which Dortmund was when? End of September? I forgot when Dortmund even happened, dude. It's been so long at this point. It's been a long time without events. I guess. Yeah. I guess it could be time for a ban list at some point, but it felt okay. The only reason why it felt okay was like there is no one deck that's dominating everything, which always makes formats feel like they can last longer than like tier 0 formats or whatever. Like tier 0 formats, if like the same deck wins event after event after event, it's just less exciting from a format development perspective than when like a format like right now we had like, you know, Rika wins Dortmund, Unchained wins a YCS, then Rescue Ace wins a YCS. Okay, Unchained won another YCS, but yeah, it's also just I feel like the next ban list is going to be one of the more interesting ones, and also one of the more controversial ones, because I think there's a big split in the community about the format the way it is right now. I don't want to restart the entire discussion of is a diverse format good or not, but I think one thing we can agree on is that it's hard to make a ban list in a very diverse format, because what do you even do, right? What do you do in this format? You either have to, I feel like you either have to hit all the decks or none of them, because if you hit just Pearly or just Rescue Ace or just Unchained, the other ones are just going to be even better than before, or like, you know. In order to have a real shakeup of the format, you'd have to like either bring something crazy back off of the ban list, which could shake something up, or they would have to like hit a lot of stuff for a lot of decks. Because if they just hit Rescue Ace, for example, we're just gonna play the same format as right now, just minus Rescue Ace, right? You're still gonna play if they just hit Rescue Ace, we're still gonna play Unchained, Pearly, and all the other stuff just like before, just minus Rescue Ace, right? And so if they don't want that to happen, they have to hit Rescue Ace, Unchained, Pearly, Tier, what have you, you know? Just also ban Calamity. I would be so down for a Calamity ban. I'm unfortunately not sure if it's gonna happen, because I feel like Calamity is the only thing that makes Centurion viable right now, and Centurion is already the only, I feel like pretty much the only selling point of Valiant Smashers. So banning Calamity right now, as much as I agree with you it should be banned, from a business perspective, doesn't seem great. Does not seem great. So I don't know. Shamalama, thank you for the 4 months. Now, banning Isolt I could get behind, but this is not supposed to be a ban list discussion. It is something that I haven't done in a while, I feel like. So maybe we do one at some point this month. Maybe after Bologna. Maybe that's late. I don't know exactly when to expect one, to be honest. It's hard to pinpoint when exactly I would expect a ban list, because, you know, it's like there's not much going on that needs to be addressed in terms of balance. The Millers might be banned eventually. That is something that I hope they do. That is something that I hope they do, for sure. I want them to ban Kelbeck and Agido. I'm fine with one of each shuffler, honestly. Like, honestly, I don't know if I'm the same, if people agree with me on that, but I felt like the Ishizu shufflers at 1, I've been so much less annoyed by. I've been so much less annoyed by the shufflers, because it also feels like without when the Millers were limited, it also meant that they would get to the shufflers way less often, right? So it's like so fine to have one of each shuffler in the game. Nah, the shufflers need to be banned. I'm an Orcus player. Yeah, there was no bias at all in that statement. Yeah, you have a point. Do you think a new master rule will come anytime soon? No, I mean, I don't really have. Do we have any reason to think that one is coming? I feel like I am not super. How do you say? Super experienced with how this usually works, because I've never paid much attention to when and how they introduce new master rules, but I'm under the impression that they used to always do this with a new anime. They would update the master rules. And I think last time that just didn't happen, right? Because last time it was Rush Duel. Instead of introducing a new master rule, they just introduced a new game, right? Which was Rush Duel. So I believe that means we are not getting a Master Duel revision. But I honestly think that might be good that way. Like from what I've heard, last time they did a Master Rule, like a big Master Rule revision, was when they introduced the the extra monster zone, the link monster, with link monsters, where you could only summon in the extra monster zone all of your extra deck stuff, and I think that was not very well received overall, especially in Japan. We just got the new illusion type, but no master rule this time. Yeah. I don't expect one anytime soon. I don't expect one anytime soon. Master Rule 4 was not liked all that much. I feel like I was in the minority, because back then I appreciated the shakeup and the attempt at slowing down the game. I appreciated it. I don't know if it was the best way they could have done it, but judging from the reception of the community, people really didn't like it. So I think it's good that they went back on it, right? Because only because I liked it doesn't mean it was good for the game, right? Like if it was actually hurting the number of players, then even though I liked it, I feel like they should gone back on it, right? Sometimes you have to basically distinguish between what you like and what is good for the game as a whole. I still think they should be looking at ways to make the game slower at some point. But I think it's something that needs to be done more organically through card design, rather than enforcing new different rules on people, right? Because it's simple. If they want to make the game slower because the game is like too much is happening, they just have to make cards with like restrictions accordingly, right? They just have to make the game you can make the game naturally slower by just making good slow decks. Easy as that. Not that I don't think it's that hard. If they really wanted to, they could probably sit down and make a good controlled archetype.